Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Squat Cobbler. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHOL on Twitter and Instagram.
I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, buy a t-shirt, send us some Atari tokens. Soldier Boy.
Yes, absolutely. So, famous last words, quick show. We'll see how it goes. But longtime listeners of Squat Cobbler, and thank you if you happen to be one of those folks. Remember when Mike and I participated way back in, is it March of?
Was it this year even?
No, it wasn't this year. it was a long time ago. We'll have to go back. Well, the date's right here, or here. Put the date right there.
It's right there.
Yeah, put the date right there because I'm used to pointing to captions underneath Mike, which are necessary on most shows. So, but it's down below. So that was the actual date. But Mike and I participated in customer creation day for AtGames, and Mike ordered his Legends Ultimate Mini. And
you can see it right behind me now.
yeah. No, I don't think so. And I ordered what we can do, because you will be able to see it, is that I ordered the AtGames controller.
Ooh.
So we now have that. Pretty cool looking. So months and months and months upon an order being placed to get it. And then I get a nice little email from AtGames saying, you got 8 days to respond to us or you don't get it. It was basically the point, which struck me as a little unfair. It's like, dudes, if you're going to make me wait this long, give me a little more time to potentially respond. But I certainly did right away. So I wanted to get it, and it came. And so wanted to just kind of give a little bit of a report on it. The sale price, it basically came in at $20 for the controller with the shipping costs on their special. So $20 controller, it definitely got, in my opinion, I definitely got my money's worth for that. What I would be a little bit skeptical of is I'm not sure this is worth it at full list price, unless it's really important for you to have a controller that you can pair with your Legends core. Because I got a nice Xbox One controller, bought it specifically when I got the core, intended to connect it wirelessly, and that's still not happening. And that was one of the reasons I bought this controller, was I said I'd like to have a wireless controller to play with the core. And so got this. I'll include some footage of the unboxing in this video. It was kind of an interesting path in that I got it, and when I picked it up initially, there's always, you can kind of tell by a controller by feel a little bit where you feel the quality's at. So you pick up when you get to the Super Console X controllers, and they're like feathers. There's like not really much there
in your hand.
Yes. Like paper mache. You go, this is perhaps not, the buttons are, you can't really tell if you're pressing them or not. And then, or you get an Xbox One controller, which, solid, really good button action, and all that good stuff. This probably falls in between the two. It's certainly not kind of the crap controllers you get with the Super Console X, but it's also not it's not as heavy as an Xbox One controller. It does have haptic feedback, but it's kind of, again, just not quite as good. You get the Xbox One controller and you get those little buzzes and feedback, or if you're using a Quest 2 VR system, and you get the haptic feedback in the controllers, you get the buzz and you kind of feel it. That this has it, but it's louder. It kind of rattles a little bit. It's just, you can tell it's probably not quite as well engineered, quite as sturdily built and all that. I had read all the instructions on it and said, well, when you get it and you plug it in, there's 4 red LEDs across the top, and the 4th LED will flash until it's fully charged, and then it'll stay a solid color. Well, I plugged it in with the USB micro plug. Not not really going all the way in either. It got most of the way in. So another thing, I'm like, what's the quality here? And the second and fourth light were flashing, which was in none of the manuals. That didn't mean anything to anything. So I wasn't really sure on that. Unplugged it the next day, retried it again, eventually got it to do that. And then once I was careful, read the instructions carefully enough, I was actually able to successfully pair it. And I do now have a wireless controller that works great with my Legends core. They indicate that once you pair it, it's as simple as the next time you power up the system, you hit the green home button and away you go. It's not been my experience entirely. I have to do a couple more button pops, a little bit, fiddle around, but it eventually does kind of wake up and connect in. So I don't have to repair every time I start up my core. So that part's good. The pinball, and I think I had mentioned to you before, I had gotten pinball working, but I was using on a wired Xbox One controller, and the flippers were actually the analog joystick buttons that I had to kind of press. Not a good user experience. This is much better. It's now got the flippers up on the triggers, the upper shoulders of the controller. It's a little bit odd because one of them's on a lower trigger and one of them's on an upper shoulder, the right and left. But you can pretty much adjust to that and you're good to go. And it kind of feels, if you're going to use a controller to play pinball, it feels about right. So that part. So pinball's been pretty good on it. Battery life does not appear to be its strength because of when I was playing around with all of it. It didn't take me long before I had a dead controller in my hands. But it does connect, which is a biggie, which is a really nice feature. And so those of you who have gotten this controller or plan to get this controller, you press the green. I can even demonstrate here. The green home button here and the X and then the X button simultaneously. Hold that down for 2 seconds. It puts it into pairing mode. And then the instructions say, go and navigate to the settings menu in your AtGames device. Well, if you don't have any other controller connected and you're trying to pair this one, there's no way for you to navigate. So you've got to make sure you have another controller actually connected to your device. But what I found with the core is that I definitely I needed to put the controller into pairing mode and then go over to the core, and the core has a button on the side that you press and hold in to put it into pairing mode. And as soon as I put the controller into pairing mode, went over and put the core into pairing mode, navigated with an additional joystick down to actually select it and hit go, because it brings the menu up to pair when you hold that button in, worked like a champ. And so you can definitely connect a wireless controller to the core and get it to work. It's just those steps I talked about. And so I'm glad I've got it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I've enjoyed playing some games that way. And I didn't expect I was going to get like a super high-end controller. I didn't, but it's certainly solid. No complaints. I'm glad I bought it on sale. I feel a little different at a higher price point probably, but I've got it going. And so just wanted to kind of give you folks an update of what my experience was with the AtGames controller.
Very nice. Now, have you tried to use this with anything else like Super Console X or anything like that?
I have not yet. I just, as soon as I got it connected to my core, I go, life is good. That's all I really wanted for that. I will actually kind of give that a shot, because it would be interesting to see, because that would be, but I've got an Xbox One controller for Super Console X. So I just soon stay with that.
Makes sense. Yeah, the Xbox One controller works great with that. Plus, I was mainly thinking of the squatties who were watching, who were awaiting anxiously us to finish off the trilogy.
Oh, yes.
That were promised. And that, of course, is Another World, Flashback, Shaq Fu.
That's right. So, but why would you bring that up in terms of
so that we can give people ideas on the best controllers?
Oh, okay, yeah,
Shaq Fu.
That's fair. Yeah, because we're gonna really go down to the core on Shaq Fu.
Listen, I put a lot of time into the preparation for this review when it happens.
That's right.
I spent most of my day shacking off the one day.
Okay, good to know. Let's try the game. But anyway, so that took a turn. Yep. So we like I said this one. So
shacking off.
Yes, I heard you. I heard you correctly.
Saying it again for YouTube.
Yeah, and we should probably caption most of this stuff just to make sure they're 100% sure. So any news on your mini?
No, nothing. Yeah.
When you get it, you'll probably have 8 days to make sure.
Probably less. You have 15 minutes to order.
Yeah, that's right. And if you don't, so it's like that. I was like, you're in no position to push me 8 days. After how long ago was this? And
what concerns me with the mini too, as we touched on previously, is that it says, I believe it said fall, like it was a pretty generic kind of time frame when I could order it, but then there was nothing about like shipping. It's just like, that's when you can place your order.
Yeah, well, that's a little more involved than my little controller. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right. Well, we will keep you posted when Mike gets his mini. We'll be able to probably be treated to an unboxing, some construction, and we'll kind of see what his experience is when he's up and going on it. So looking forward to that. And we will continue to diligently prepare for the Shaq Fu episode, folks. Don't worry. We haven't forgotten. We will get to it.
No, we're chomping at the bit to Shaq one out for you guys.
So we're calling this a show. And before Mike comes up with any other clever sayings. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.